Good morning, everyone. Today, I wish to discuss the entertainment, so-called entertainment industry, like circuses, aquariums, or animal shows, like horse shows. There are many types of so-called entertainments. A lot of them are like speed races, like dogs or horse race, but also about circuses that keep wildlife imprisoned, and aquariums which do it as the same. So yeah, that is an important topic that we don't think about, I believe, when we grow up. If we are going to the circus, we think it's fine to see wild lions, elephants, and bears perform tricks. But the truth is quite different. So I wish to discuss this in this presentation a little bit. It's just an introduction. There are many other aspects of it. This one is more about like circuses and aquariums. So yeah. So yeah, why do we do that? That is, why does circuses have those wild animals? Why does aquariums have those wild animals? They do not belong there. They they are in cages, like we talked about in the past, like for birds. So similarly for those wild, proud animals, they suffer terribly from a loss of freedom, confinement. They are not supposed to be there. They're supposed to be 100% free in the wild. And humans just use them for entertainment, for performing tricks and whatnot. But yeah, the cost is incredible. And we do not think about their freedom and what they want, not what we want. So yeah, true joy should never come from another being's pain. Seeing any animal doing tricks is kind of ridiculous. They were like taught these tricks through various painful methods, and so it's not that they do it because they want to, but they do it because they are forced to. So it's like kind of, but it's not kind of, it is slavery. And yeah, and they shouldn't exist. What we do to them should not exist. If circuses were all about humans learning tricks like juggling and acrobatics, that is perfectly good. If that was all there was to it. But if they involve wild animals, then that is not good. Like that means like the circus doesn't really understand, doesn't value any life, and basically it's also like tradition. It's also for money, and yeah, I suppose they do not really think about that aspect. They just think about like what people might be awed with, like seeing a lion perform things like jumping into fire like circles, loops. That would be like wonderful. That would maybe give them money, bring people, but they rarely pause and reflect on what they are actually doing, which is completely unnatural and should be avoided. Same thing for aquariums. We put wonderful beings into a very small cage. Basically, it's a cage. No matter how big it is, it's a tiny percentage of what they have in nature. So we confine them, and then of course all the animals which are confined, they will go mad, and they will be very sad, very depressed. How could they not? And why? Why do we do that to them? Animals are not performance. That's the truth. So while animals are not born to entertain humans, they have fast, deep instincts to roam vast territories, to explore diverse landscape, to hunt for their food, like play with their family, and then they migrate during the seasons, and they just live freely and happily in their natural environments. So elephants, they walk quite a lot per day. In nature, they walk like somewhere around 30 miles a day, which is about 50 kilometers. And yeah, dolphins, they also navigate the currents for hundreds of miles. Then tigers, they establish territories that span quite a lot of space. And yeah, they just, this is their habitat, this is their home. And teaching like an animal people to perform tricks does not mean they will be happy, that they are happy. Just mean that we force them through repetition, control, and fear-based teaching in all kind of ways. Often when we see in circuses, they have like whips, and yeah, if the poor animal does not comply, then they will be punished. How can we enjoy that? So yeah, life in cages and tanks. So it's quite heartbreaking what's happening to them. So they are confined in such a small space, contrary to their natural range. Lions would naturally roam across vast land. Then they lose all their abilities, their natural abilities, natural wishes, natural desires that they have, whatever they are. Same thing with dolphins. They are trapped in very small tanks. That is just a tiny fraction of what their natural range is, and that really is. And yeah, they are very sad. They are not happy to perform the tricks. When we go to see them, all we see them is do those tricks, but they were forced to learn those and to comply. And yeah, elephants are very social creatures, very social, wonderful people. And they need the complex social lives with extended family groups that are spanning generations. And then they are chained and isolated and just get in really small place. And that's not enough for their needs, of course. And they have nothing to do, basically. They go mad. It's like if we were in cages and had nothing to do, we would go mad too. And this causes very, very deep physical and psychological suffering, of course. How could it not? Yeah, and then there are many, like, many of them develop some behavioral issues, abnormal behaviors that are never seen in the wild, of course. And yeah, those are behaviors are clear indication of some psychological distress, and this is severe suffering. So there are many types of things that they do, like they go back and forth. That's all they can do. They start to sway their head, or they cause self-harm, like beating themselves, or they make show aggression or shutdown. But how could they not? So those are signs of severe like distress and trauma. This is certainly not happiness. So the captivity breaks their spirits and yeah, and their natural joy and happiness of freedom. So the training is done through fear and control. There are various ways that the so-called trainers do. Like they deprive the animals of food, they're kept hungry. That way they will perform whatever they do for food rewards. So it's like a leverage for compliance. Then they are punished in different ways physically, for different pain, so-called tools, pain stuff. And then they are isolated also, kept alone for extended periods as punishment, so as to break their will. And all of it is based on fear. So it's like fear-based control. So that disobedience will equal to pain and fear. So they do not perform for joy or from joy, just because they have survival instinct. They want to live like us. So they will not want to feel pain, and so that's why they do it, but not because they want to. They are basically slaves. So it's not a bond of like trust and being happy with the trainer, like family. No, it's one based on fear, on helplessness, on dominance. There's nothing to be proud of. Yeah, and then while they are taken away from their families when they are very young, that way they are more susceptible to perform what the so-called performance wants them to do. And yeah, that is a strategy. So the babies are separate from their mothers, sometimes violently, in order to be easier to control, and that leaves a big trauma to them. So yeah, the calves in the like in the wild, they stay with their mothers for a very long time. Wild elephants, the calves stay with the mother for 16 years. Can you imagine? 16 years they stay. Like similar to humans, almost, maybe. And also dolphins, they nurse their babies for several years. And bird cats also, for about 2 years. And yeah, this of course teaches the babies how to be in the wild, how to survive in the wild, teach them a lot of communication, complex communications ways that we do not understand. They have, they are not dumb animals. They are very, very smart, possibly even smarter than humans. But just because they don't talk, and they don't have means to protect themselves, then we believe we have the right to do whatever we wish to them. But yeah, not many people think about it. I mean, no one think about it when going to circuses or aquariums. But it is the pain and trauma is very real. And yeah, aquariums are basically prisons made out of glass. Um, they may like often be seen as something that is maybe something positive, something educational, maybe to teach our children about wild animals. But there are other ways than putting them in prisons. Um, yeah, it doesn't matter how big the prison is. A prison is a prison. So they just cannot escape that. So they can go just round and round and round that glass walls. There's no open water, no freedom to choose. So yeah, there's no natural hunting for them. So and they are provided like dead food, and then there is no. They cannot dive deep into the ocean, and they crave for it, but they cannot do it. They don't have any social structure. They don't have their group, their families. So their communication patterns they do not learn, basically to talk with their own species. So yeah, so all this creates lots of issues. So that is education without any respect. Both circuses and aquariums may claim they educate the public about wildlife and inspire conservation. But what are we really teaching our children with to watch these shows? Okay, children they do not really realize what's happening, but we should know better. So yeah, true education should really inspire and educate and have empathy toward all animals, protect the animals in their natural habitats. That is true education. So true education is leaving the animals in the wild and then going and seeing them in their natural habitat. You know, this is like there are some called safaris in Africa where one can go, and then one really goes into the wild and see all the wild animals in their natural habitat in the in the forest jungles, and of course one is protected with a protected car. But yeah, and one tries to be like without like being noticed. It just looking and observing whatever happens there, and that is true education. That is inspiring. But or seeing dolphins in the wild or whales in the wild, now that is very inspiring. But not in aquariums or circuses. Yeah, so because that just shows us that that's just tell our children that animals exist for our pleasure. It's kind of brainwashing that we do for our children since they are very small. But we can learn about animals without imprisoning them, as we just said. So yeah, there are many other ways to do it in a correct way, like documentaries, wildlife documentaries, like Can virtual reality where one can go to those places, maybe with kind of a 3D Google, and sanctuaries that rescue animals from exploitation. Those are good places. So it is possible to learn about them in a correct way. Yeah, so a kind of choice is possible. Like every time that we go see those animals in circuses or aquariums that exploit animals, then basically we pay for it. Because why do they exist? Because we pay for it. So maybe we should stop paying for them and not going to circuses. At least circuses that have wild animals. There may be circuses now without them, and that is fine. But those that do, even just one, then we should how do you say it? Not go there. And yeah, like ban them. And aquariums, basically, they will always have wild animals, so they should not really exist. Of course, I mean, aquariums, they could be different types, not for entertainment, but like a hospital where maybe injured animals come, then we help the injured animal, and then we release the injured animal. I mean, when they are better. Now that is okay. That is good. That is like wild wild animals hospitals. They are not there for entertainment. They are there for us, protecting them and helping them um, as possible. That is only if we really see like hurt animals and then we help them. But most of the time, that's not the case. So yeah, so one is to withdraw all our financial support. If attendance drops and then the public opinion shifts, then the businesses are forced to listen. And then yeah, so there are already bans on wild animals in circuses in many countries, so that is wonderful. But it should be like in the entire world that is like that. And in truth, I do not know. I did not research that to know how many countries have led to bans. But yeah, I mean, many of them do. I do not see any. I mean, where I live, there is very rarely any circus like publicity. And when I see there is no like wild animal in the poster that they publish, and yeah, so is it just some circuses around the world, or like maybe all of them have changed? I am not sure. But yeah, I know that also aquariums have closed because maybe of some incidents and yeah, public opinion and pressure. Then they had to force and to close this. I know, but yeah, I think all of them should close unless they are, as we said, like for like a hospital, and then the wild animals are released to the wild once they are healed. And then, yeah, we can encourage ethical alternatives like to support sanctuaries that rescue and rehabilitate animals. That's wonderful. We can watch documentaries. We can visit some parks where animals live freely. Such parks do exist. And yeah, so we advocate for conservation in natural habitat. So compassion is a very powerful vote. We can all choose to be part of it, and our choice matters. Each choice that we make matters. And of course, that's also related to the vegan lifestyle. Um, the vegan lifestyle clearly state that animals are not here for entertainment. I mean, that animals are there for their own sake because they're wonderful beings, not here for us, but they are here for to enjoy life like we do. They may enjoy it in different ways than we do. Doesn't mean it's worse or it's just different. Um, yeah, they are wild animals. They live freely in nature. Yeah, so that's the main point. So let them be free. Animals do not owe us any entertainment. There was absolutely nothing at all. They did not ask to be captured, trained, and displayed or used for profit. This is just meant to serve like human entertainment or amusement. And we must remember that each one of those animals once roamed free, um, be it dolphins or any other aquatic animals or land animals. They were free once, and they were born to be free. And they were born to be wild, like the famous song says. And yeah, so if we choose not to attend those animal-based entertainment, that is a really powerful act of kindness, one that honors freedom, dignity, and life itself. So it's something that we say that we recognize that animals suffer, and then we try to help them. So it's only together that we can create something, and the choice purely belong to with us. Um, and that is the last slide. But of course, this only talked a small percentage of the issue with so-called entertainment. As I briefly mentioned initially, there are other aspects. This focused on circuses and aquariums, but there are also all the horse racing that we believe are positive and good. And there's nothing positive and good about them. Um, Horses are not meant to race for us. They are meant also to be free in nature. They're wonderful creatures that we use for our own benefit. Just for basically, it's like a gambling races. This should also be stopped. And also dog racing, same thing. We may believe they do it for us, but no, they do not even know why they are there. So yeah, this is just for human entertainment, humans gambling issues. Yeah, so we should reflect upon that deeply and understand that animals are not there for our entertainment. So that's a very important aspect of the vegan lifestyle too. So there are so many aspects to the vegan lifestyle, so many. We already talked about for more than 20 sessions, and each time it's a different aspect. So yeah, so we should learn about it and reflect upon it, and assimilate this knowledge, so that we can act more in line with our own virtues, because we are with kindness in our hearts. We don't want to see suffering, but many times we are not aware of what's happening around us, especially when we are young. But that doesn't mean it's correct. And many times this is all the pain and suffering of the animals are hidden. So when we go to the circuses or aquariums, we do not see all the past or present kind of fear-based dominance of humans over innocent animals. Same thing with the meat, fish, dairy, honey. All those industries, they also do not want us to really know the truth, to see the truth. But once we know, we know. We should know better. We should take this knowledge with us, with our heart. We should open our hearts to compassion, basically, to kindness, to universal compassion. We cannot keep our eyes closed forever. We need to open them at one point. We need to wake up from this illusion. And like going vegan is one of the best way to wake up, I would say. Maybe the starting of truly waking up to reality. And there are many documentaries that talk about this. So one of them that may be a bit hard to look at is Earthlings. There's also Dominion. So if one wants to know the truth and see the truth, one can look at one of those documentaries. I would say that it's not mandatory. If one is already vegan, it's not mandatory because one understands it already. But if one really enjoyed those shows, then it would be a good wake-up call to really see what's happening. And even for vegans, sometimes it's good to really remind ourselves why we do it. And sometimes, I mean, there are many like mild documentaries, and there are some that are more visual. So both are necessary. Different times, different people. If the mild one are enough, that's okay. But if that's not enough, then maybe we should go to the harder to see ones, so that we really our heart really opens up, and we will cry when we see those documentaries, because we would not believe they are even true. There was one I saw an interview of a lovely lady, and she said that I think Earthlings was really the one that really talked to her, like really opened her heart, and she cried when she saw it, and she couldn't believe that it is true. So she researched it, and then she discovered that everything that is in there is basically basic practice of the industry, and she was shocked. And she thought maybe the documentary, I think, is from 2005, so she thought maybe, oh, nowadays it's different. But then she researched it, and she saw that no, it's exactly the same. Nothing has changed, basically. So so documentaries are very helpful to know the truth, because we are spared from the truth when we go to such places. or when we eat meat, fish, or eggs, or dairy. We do not know what's happening behind the scene, but doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. And it's very easy to change. Very easy to it's easy to be compassionate and kind. It's easy. At the same time, it's hard because we have a lot of social um, like blockages. We don't want to look different than others. Maybe we don't want to that our friends. Maybe we don't know what they will think of us or our families. But doing what is right is doing what is right. Um, there's no way around it. We should do what kindness and compassion dictates, and not what our social um, blockages origin are there. I mean, social all the social thing is a bit of a no issue really if one really reflects upon it, because compassion, when one is compassionate, then if our friends are really our friends, they will understand, they will be curious of us, like going vegan, for example, and they will ask true question like why do you do it, but in a good sense, not in demeaning way, but in a really true non-confrontation way. Then we can explain to them why we do what we do, and they will be influenced even just in their thoughts. Same with our families, although sometimes they do not really change enough or much, but at least they will change a little bit. It's like their heart will open a little bit to others. So yes, so that's our presentation for today. I hope it brought something to you. Maybe you were not aware of all this, and that's normal not to be aware. Many things we are not aware in this world, but once we are aware, we should reflect upon it at least and research. Research, is it true or not? And yeah, and then we can act accordingly to what our research says. So thank you, and let's go to our daily practice. Okay, so we will start our daily practice now. Just one moment, please. Okay, so good morning. I hope you slept well. So let's start. So we start always, as always, with the morning prayer. So just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will show gratitude for my many blessings. Just for today, I will be kind to all living beings. May today be a joyful, peaceful, blissful, and magical day. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy and free, and may our thoughts, words, and deeds contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace to all of nature, peace to all living beings, to all humans, to all the animals, and finally peace to ourselves, to our own mind. Om. So, and now let's pass to our daily gratitude practice. Just for a couple of minutes, we should all be grateful for everything that we have, all the all our friends, all our family members, our teachers, our clothes, our food, warm house, bed, and many other things. So let's be very, very grateful from our heart, like be it really sincere that we are grateful to all those and acknowledge them, acknowledge their importance to us and how much they brought good things in our life, protect us and everything. And yeah, so let's start our gratefulness session. and slowly open your eyes. So let's do a little bit of physical exercise, like we usually do in the morning. Again, feel free to do your own exercises. This is not a very sweaty exercise sequence, of course, but feel free to do anything that you prefer. So let's do a little bit of souffle rose to start with. So inhale, chest forward, exhale back. The other way. On the big bear, inhale, exhale, round. Now inhale, exhale, turn to one side. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, turn a bit more. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, the other side. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, turn a bit more. Inhale, come back to center. One hand on the mat and the other one come back. Stay there for a couple of breaths. And inhale, come back up. Exhale, the other side. Come back to center. Hands on the shoulders, then inhale up, exhale back. The other way. Come back to center. Make some wrist rolls. Open your hands rapidly. Close. And let's do the same with the legs and feet. Just extend them and stretch them. Make circles with the feet. Bring one leg towards you and make turn to that side. The other leg. Then bring your legs in a diamond shape. So like this, and just fall forward very slowly. Do not force it. And slowly come back. Yeah. So this was our daily physical exercise. As I said previously, this is just an example of a sequence. Feel free to adapt it to your own preferences. It doesn't really matter as long as one stretches the joints and maybe get a little bit of heat. That's good. So let's move to the next practice, which is relaxation. So like previously, we're going to do, like yesterday, the 61 points of relaxation, also called Shavyatra. It means the journey, the corpse journey. So we have Shavasana and we have Shavyatra. So Shavasana is the corpse pose and Shavyatra is the corpse journey. So it's like journey through the body. So you can either just concentrate on the points, or you can also visualize like a beautiful blue star, and then that blue star moves from. You can, every time that we say move your awareness to, you move that star to that space. That can help with concentration. And yeah, so we do it twice, like before. We do it once together and once on your own. So yeah, so let's start. So first close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths. You can do it either sitting up or lying down. Now relax your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Relax your back, your front, your chest. Relax your navel, your hips, legs and feet. Relax your neck and throat, back of the head, top of the head. Relax your forehead, eyebrows, eyes, ears, nose. Relax your nostrils, your lips and tongue, chin and jaw. Your entire face is relaxed. Now let's start the practice. So bring your entire attention to the space between the eyebrows. Move it to the pit of the throat, the right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, tip of the right thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, pit of the throat, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, tip of the left thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, pit of the throat, the middle of the chest, the right chest, middle of the chest, the left chest, middle of the chest, the navel, or abdomen, right hip joint, right knee, right ankle, tip of the right big toe, tip of the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Back the right ankle, right knee, right hip joint, the navel, left hip joint, left knee, left ankle, tip of the left big toe, tip of the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Back to the left ankle, left knee, left hip joint, lower abdomen, navel, the center of the chest, pit of the throat, and the space between the eyebrows. And relax. One thing I made a small mistake, like when we go up from knee, hip joint, it's not navel, it's lower abdomen, and then to the other side. So let's do it, each one of us on our own. Yeah, starting now. And slowly open your eyes. So that concludes our relaxation session. And now, before we move to the pranayama, let's take 5 minutes break. So let's start our pranayama practice, similarly to we did in the last couple of sessions. So starting with one-to-one breathing. So breathing in for 4 seconds and out for 4 seconds. If that is too much, do 3, or 2 even. And the idea is really to make it like rhythmic. So this is a controlled breath, and we need to really focus on the quality of the breath. It needs to be very silent, very without pauses between inhalation, exhalation, and exhalation, inhalation. Without like jerks, so not like inhale, stop, inhale, stop, and then stop, and so on. It really should be very, very smooth, like a sine wave. It needs to be diaphragmatic. That means we breathe, we let the diaphragm go up and down very naturally. It's only the belly which should expand, not the chest or the shoulders. And we should breathe from the nose, very important. So not from, we do not, it's neither inhalation nor exhalation from the mouth. It's really inhalation, exhalation from the nose. So inhale from the nose and we exhale from the nose. For so many reasons. So inhalation from the nose is important. I think many people breathe from the mouth. It's become a habit. And that can become a big issue, like health issue, if we breathe from the mouth. Of course, unless we have issues with the nose, so we must. So mouth is for emergency breathing when we cannot breathe from the nose, but otherwise we should breathe from the nose. Because the nose is like it protects against microbes, against dust particles that we should not inhale. And the mouth cannot do that, or very, very little, or nothing. And there's also nitric oxide that gets released into the lungs when we breathe from the nose, and very little of it is inhaled when we breathe from the mouth, much, much lower. And this nitric oxide is very important. It expands the vessels of the lungs, so it helps us to breathe more better. And so it's an important compound molecule. So really the nose has been made for millions of years, evolved into something that we should breathe from. And but modern life made us also breathe from the mouth, but that is not natural. It's maybe more stress related, habit related, but we should watch it. It's a wonderful thing to watch. Do we breathe from the nose or the mouth? We should be mindful about it. Of course, except when we talk. We will breathe also from the mouth, but okay, that's different. But in normal day to day, we should breathe from the nose. So let's do our practice 1-to-1 for inhalation in, for inhalation out. And for count in, for not count to 4 in, count to 4 out. And let's do this for a couple of minutes. and slowly come back. Um, yeah, why do we do this? Basically, we wish to calm the mind and to notice that wherever the mind goes, the breath goes, and wherever the breath goes, the mind goes. So there's a very strong relation between mind and breath. So if we want to calm the breath, we can calm the mind, and inversely, when we want to calm the mind, we can calm the breath. That's one. That's why when we are in a stressful situation, it may be a good idea to take a few deep breaths and calm down through that. So now we're going to do similarly, except it's a 1-2 breathing. So you breathe in for going to breathe in for 4 seconds and out for 8 seconds. That may not be for everybody. If that's too much, then do a 3-6 or 2-4. So again, same qualities as before for the breath. Yeah, so let's do that now. And slowly come back. yeah, so usually in those practices, um, the exhalation will be longer than or equal to the inhalation, and that is normal. That's when the parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, when the exhalation duration is longer or equal to the inhalation. And yeah, 2 to 1 is a very good ratio. Because it doesn't mean that we breathe in every day like that. It's just a practice, basically, for practice. So let's move now to the Nadi Shodhanam, Anuloma Viloma, alternate nostril breathing. So we have our hands, index and middle finger bent, and we block the nostril with either the thumb or the ring. And there is a pattern, and the pattern that we're going to do is what is called the third type, which is imagine we block the right, then it's exhale left, inhale, inhale, switch, exhale, inhale. So it's a 6 exhalation, 6 inhalation in total. It's very easy to remember. So we're going to do it until the 30th session. And yeah, it's a very important one to master. But okay, it's not hard to remember. So we will do 1 round together, like before, and 3 rounds on your own. Yes, so let's do that. So inhale, exhale, inhale to start. Block right, exhale from left. Inhale left, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and relax. So between each round, we are going to do a couple of seconds rest, and maybe 10 to 15 seconds. So let's do 3 rounds on our own, each round starting from the opposite nostrils. And yeah, let's start now. And slowly open your eyes. So now we're going to do our last pranayama practice, which is Brahmari, or the bee humming. So we inhale, then we close the mouth and we do like That is a very, very calming practice. Very good before going to sleep, if you have trouble sleeping. Yeah, so let's do that for a couple of minutes. You don't need to follow me, choose your own tones. You can vary the tone, vary the duration, you choose. And slowly calm down. As always with pranayama, if you feel dizzy, you should immediately stop. If anything is not right for you, just don't do it. So let's, after pranayama, what we do? We go to self-dialogue. Part of the practice, it's when we talk with ourselves. I talk about it in length many times. Often I change a little bit the subject of what I'm saying, but all in all it is always the same. We try to be positive with ourselves. We talk with ourselves in a positive way, in a constructive way, not negative, not destructive. Sometimes we talk with our mind in a negative way, but self-dialogue is all the opposite. It's when we talk with our mind as if our mind is our best friend. It's a wonderful practice because we already talk with ourselves all day long. So why not dedicate the moment, a practice where we really do only that, but only in a very positive way and very constructive, very focused manner. So there are many topics many big topics that we can discuss. Like could be prayer. So prayer is a kind of self-dialogue. Prayer can be either fixed, like pre-made, or spontaneous from the heart. Both are fine, but maybe spontaneous has the edge. When it comes from the heart, we always make different prayers. Doesn't matter to whom we pray, it's all the same. Even if you don't believe in God, you can pray. Praying can be like a wish uh, for betterment in this life for everyone, all beings, for ourselves, for our family, community, and so on. So, and then there's also gratitude practice, which is wonderful. Like we do always every day, every morning after prayer. It's really a very good way to become more humble, understand that we are not alone in this world. We depend on others, and to acknowledge it. Um, that we are not superior to anyone or to any being for that matter. Um, and then we have affirmations that we can utter. So there are many types of affirmations, many affirmations. Some really like affirmations. So if you enjoy it, that can also be a self-dialogue practice. Then there is also the metta meditation. We talked about it a couple of times, where it's Buddhist-based meditation, but basically it's universal. Everyone can do it. It's where we pray to all beings, the welfare of all beings, for them to be happy, not to know suffering, to know happiness, peace, yeah. And so this we pray for all living beings, and then we pray more for close relatives, like our family members, could be also our pets. And then we pray for those that are neutral, those that we have neither positive nor negative emotion towards them. And then we pray for those that are more difficult for us. Maybe people we have trouble communicating with. It doesn't need to be big enemies, like mortal enemies. Can be very day-to-day persons that we just don't get along very well. But maybe we have no choice but to be with them. So we pray for them too, so that our hearts expands beyond the limitations of only those that we care about, but also for those we I will not say care less, but something like that, that we do not really think about and do not want to think about, and that causes us issues. So why do we do it? For many reasons. One is that just recognize that all beings are divine, ultimately, in their hearts of hearts. Those this kindness or divine light may be veiled for some time by habits, wrong habits, maybe indoctrinations, wrong indoctrinations, brainwashing, or maybe brain filthing rather than washing. So we recognize that all beings are divine, but only somehow have that veiled for some time. Then it will not be forever, so everybody will be enlightened at one time or another. Everyone will become saintly when the time comes. not only humans but all living beings, animals included. So this wishing well even to those that are difficult, it's kind of expanding our consciousness. At the same time, if those that are difficult to us, if they are happy, then they will not have any reason to bother us. So if everybody is happy, everybody live their lives peacefully. So that's why it's a wonderful type of meditation for all the types of people. And then we have the higher truths like contemplating on higher truths, like the famous "Who am I?" You just like contemplate on it. It doesn't mean you have the answer, but just pondering about it and being silent, and then maybe there will be some insights coming into us about that indeed we are divine being, for example, that all of us are divine beings. Doesn't matter religion or spiritual practice or skin color or eye color. It really doesn't matter anything. The exterior aspect doesn't matter at all. So we are all divine, and this is who am I is trying with that's basically the question of all spirituality, trying to get to the root of that inquiry. And there are many ways of going about it, and in this we just ponder about it. And then we have self-counseling, where we talk with ourselves, like asking ourselves what do we. One question is, what do we want in life? What do we really want in our hearts of hearts? We all want something, and I mean it, of course, the positive aspects of it. There are many like goals that one could have. One could just want to be happy. One could want others to be happy. That's a wonderful goal. One would want all living beings to be happy, like the vegan lifestyle. One could want a cookie. Then one go and eat a cookie. And one maybe want to become good in one sports or in hobby like drawing, sculpture. Or maybe one really wants spiritual liberation, what is called spiritual liberation and spiritual enlightenment. That's a wonderful goal. That's I believe, one of the main goals of life is spiritual enlightenment. But not only in experiencing it, experiencing one to be one with all beings, but it also comes through virtues, so developing virtues. That's one of the main aspects of it, actually. And from meditation, from really understanding it deeply, having like some maybe inner experiences that like prove us that that there is something beyond this life that we believe that there is all to it. Spiritual enlightenment, evolution has many aspects to it. Big one is virtues, but also through meditation, pondering, inquiring, experimenting, experiencing, and developing wisdom. So Yeah, this is like in Buddhism, they have three main practices. One is virtues, developing virtues. One is developing tranquility, samadhi, like being blissful states, peaceful states. And one is wisdom, developing wisdom. So all three of those needs to be developed, and it's not really in Buddhism only. It's universal. Buddhism is just like it's a philosophy, one could say, that applies to all the religions and to all of us. So just basic, it's one could say it's a common uh, logic, just logical things, logical ideas. Um, yeah, so this is self-counseling. What do I want? What are my goals, my aspirations in life? And how can I achieve that? What should I do? How can I break bad habits, acquire good habits? That's also part of self-counseling. Um, one can read many books about it, how to develop good habits and stop bad ones like procrastination and anger, um, envy, jealousy, and all those stuff. How to reduce those habits. That we all have habits that we wish to change. That maybe block us from advancing either spiritually or in this physical world. And yeah, it's good to learn how to do that, how to acquire good habits. It's systematic. There's a pattern to it. There is a way like that one can learn how to do it. It's a skill that one can acquire. The skill of how to build good habits and leave the bad ones. And self-discipline, basically. It's also a lot about self-discipline. Um, that plays a role also in habits, of course. There's also environments, and there are many tricks to to help for habits formation. But I will leave you reading some good books. There are quite wonderful books out there. Yeah. So, and then we have also last but not least is friendship with mind. So just being a friend with the mind and discussing um, anything that one wishes, and in a friendly way, of course, as if we are talking to our best friend. So let's do that for about 12 minutes now. Try to be stable also in the body. Um, choose a comfortable position. It doesn't need to be like in meditation where it's best not to move at all. But in this self-dialogue part, just find some comfortable position and where you can ponder and talk with the mind. So let's do that. So that concludes this dialogue part of the practice. Before going to the meditation part, let's take 5 minutes break. Okay. Okay, so let's start our meditation part. So in this part, we're going to do like before, doing this retreat. Same thing. So we're going to watch the breath, the sensations of the breath more precisely at the entrance of the nose, or a cold, hot air coming in and out, or maybe feeling the breath somewhere else, maybe the upper lip or the lips. And we just try to focus on it and let the thoughts come and go like clouds. That's the usual metaphor or visualization that comes. So yeah, so it's like the clouds come and go and like thoughts. So we don't try to hold on to them or anything, and they will just pass by if we just let them pass. But if we cling to them, then then yeah, then it may take some time before we come out of it. That's why we try not to follow these chains of thoughts. So they become chains of thoughts when we follow one and then the other come and then another come. So that's what is called chains of thoughts or trains of thoughts. And we try not to take the train, any train. Yeah, so that's the idea. And then to start with, it's a good idea to count. So when we inhale 1 and then exhale, inhale second time 2, exhale, then think in our mind. Or think in and out when we inhale in, when we exhale out. Not say out loud, but in the mind. That is very helpful. And yeah, and if we have thoughts that we cannot stop, then a good idea is just to acknowledge them, categorize them, or just one category could be like thinking. So thinking, the word thinking in our mind, that would take us out of this train of thoughts and bring us back to our object of meditation. Yeah, it's a question of mindfulness. It's mindfulness plus meditation, basically. Meditation is the practice of concentration, and mindfulness is the practice of getting us back in meditation when we are out of it. So they are both, mindfulness could be said to be the manager of meditation. Is the boss telling meditation, you need to go back to that, very gently, not forcefully, but yeah. So let's do that. So we'll do like in the previous days. We started this starting with the low duration, and then short duration, and then going to longer ones. So If you feel just 3 minutes is enough for you, then, for example, after the 3 minutes, you can say stop, it's enough for me. And then you can also continue to the other ones if you wish, if it's not too much. But just trying them out if you didn't yet. So we're going to do like 3, 4, 6, 9, 12. And we will see if we go further or not. So yeah, let's start. Before every start, I will ring the bell, and at the end, I will ring the bell again, so that it's you don't need to look at the clock, which is very convenient. Just try to focus, to meditate as much as possible. And let's start now. 3 minutes. And between each round, we will take 30 seconds to a minute of rest. So let's continue for 4 minutes now. And 2 points. One is that during meditation, we do try to be as stable as possible, so we do try to not move, like at all, except for, of course, breathing. But if there's something that itches, we try to resist. Maybe if that is too much, we just look at it, with our mind's eye, and notice it with awareness, and then we'll analyze what it is actually. And if we really cannot resist, then we just scratch and go back to meditation. And another thing is we do not control the breath. Very important. We do not breathe in for X seconds, out for X seconds. It's completely free breathing. So it's like if we notice it from a distance, like we see somebody else's breathing. That's the kind of way that we should consider the breath, so not control it at all. Just let the belly do what it wishes, let the diaphragm do what it wishes. All we need to do is relax and observe. So let's now pass to the 6 minutes practice. So relax a bit for a couple of seconds. Then we will do 9 minutes. Okay, let's start. 9 minutes now. So relax a little bit and prepare for 12 minutes. Stretch your legs and just do what is necessary to relax. And let's go for it. So that was 12 minutes. Maybe it felt much longer. So we are going to do a last meditation of 18 minutes. If that is too much for you, then skip it. Just first relax your legs, stretch them any way you can. Yeah, and let's do this now. So, I'm going to meditate for 18 minutes. That will be the last meditation for this morning. So this concludes the our session today. So to recap, today we saw in the presentation about animals used for so-called entertainments like circuses, animal shows, or aquariums. And we saw how the animals are suffer terribly there. They are not supposed to be there. They are wild animals. So there are many other ways to do similar things, but without this this abuse. And yeah, we should not support, I believe, those industries that do that. Those aquariums, unless they are used to rehabilitate wild animals, that's something different. Unless they used to heal them, but not for our entertainments. Even circuses, if they are really only humans one, where humans do all kind of tricks that can be very fun. But as soon as they involve wild animals, then there's no more fun. So yeah, and there are many other types of such things like horse racing, dog racing, even dog fights. So yeah, so the vegan lifestyle encompasses all those as well, of course. Anything to do with kindness and compassion towards animals, then that is the vegan lifestyle. But if it goes against it, then that, of course, is not the vegan lifestyle doesn't support that. So yeah, there are so many aspects to the vegan lifestyle. Really, we can already see from the number of presentations done in this retreat how many different aspects there are, and there are still many more. So yeah, I would encourage everyone to again look at documentaries and educate ourselves about it, and see for our own eyes if it's true or not. And yeah, and reflect upon it simply. So let's end this with the mantra. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the world be happy and free. And may our thoughts, words, and deeds contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace to all of nature, peace to all living beings, to all the humans, to all the animals, and finally peace to ourselves, to our own mind. Om. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Be happy, and see you next time. Bye bye.